Hello students, starting with the topic of optical instrument, simple microscope we have discussed, and today we are going to discuss compound microscope. See, in simple microscope, when you will see the magnification, that is 1 plus d by fe or d by fe. In both the magnification, like near point and far point, but in all the magnifications you will see that the magnification is inversely proportional to the focal length. So, if magnification is in inverse proportion of focal length, and if you want to increase the magnification, what will you do? If you want to increase this, you have to decrease the focal length. Okay. But focal length, depending upon the radius of curvature, depending upon the aperture, it cannot be decreased beyond a certain limit. Suppose to see a compound microscope, you are using a telescope. This should not be the case, no? So, it is not like okay, increase the magnification and decrease the aperture, decrease the radius, increase the focal length, and by suppose it is increasing, so this is decreasing, it is decreasing. So, there is a limitation for that. In general, we say that for some simple microscope, the maximum range is 20x, 20 times the actual size of the object you can see the image. This is also maximum. To be very precise, it is 12 to 15 times. Now, what to do? If we want to increase magnification, we will use the concept of successive refraction. If there is a successive refraction means the image of first refraction is acting like an object for second. In such refractions, we use the total magnification as the multiple product of the individual magnifications. So, m is equal to m1 into m2 into so on. So, even if we are using two lenses and they are giving you 20x of magnification, your combined magnification is even 400 times. This is what we called compound microscope. In compound microscope, we are using the two lenses. First lens in front of which object is being placed is called objective. Obviously, objective means the lens in front of which the object has been placed. The second one is eyepiece. Eyepiece means what? Here are the eyes. Through it the final image is being seen. Now, see the arrangement. This is the object which is in generally placed just beyond the focus. So, just beyond the focus it is being placed. This is say focus. What is the object distance? u0. You can see the rays are going like this from optical center, one parallel to principal axis, and here the first image is being formed. This is the image due to objective. Now, this image being formed at a distance of v0 here, or naught is denoting for objective. This will act like an object for the eyepiece. So, rays from here you can see from eyepiece, this is the optical center of eyepiece, from where through eyepiece if you will see from where the rays are appear to converge, that will be the position of final image that you can see from eyepiece is VE. Now, there is a very simple trick to memorize this. I won't suggest you to do all the derivations here. For NEET, if you memorizing and mugging it up and memorizing, that's needed for your exam. But if you want to memorize it through a trick, here is this. See, can I write here magnification is m0 into me, magnification of objective multiplied by magnification of eyepiece. What is magnification of objective? V0 by u0, and with sign convention, since u0 is negative, you can see in the diagram, this is minus u0. And what is magnification of eyepiece? The trick is, consider that eyepiece as a simple microscope. Eyepiece in compound microscope is a simple microscope. So, if this is a simple microscope, this should be d by ue, and this is the general formula for the magnification of compound microscope. But as there are two cases, first case, if you remember in simple microscope we used to discuss two cases. If final image is formed at infinity, and we have denoted the final image with VE, the distance. So, VE is infinity, so obviously UE is the focal length. In that case, you have to write UE as the focal length, and then this case I told you that ME you have to consider eyepiece as simple microscope. So, you can directly put the formula of simple microscope in place of ME. So, in the first case magnification would be what? It would be minus V naught by U naught into D by FE. Do remember, second one eyepiece is the simple microscope. Moreover, if final image is being formed at a least distance of distinct vision, which is called 25 centimeter, then M would be, we are not changing the objective, that is remains minus V naught by U naught, but in place of ME what will you write? The formula of simple microscope in that case, and that was, if you remember students, is 1 plus D by FE. So, you can memorize the magnification of what? Simple microscope, and multiply that magnification with magnification of what? Objective minus V naught by U naught, and you will get your magnification for compound microscope. Let me tell you one thing, in lens there are angular magnifications as well, but as far as the optical instruments are concerned, only two things you have to keep in your mind. First, you must be able to draw at least a rough sketch of the ray diagram. I am not asking you for be very precise and proper, because there is no subjective questions being asked, but a rough ray diagram where the object is being formed, where due to objective, or what is the eyepiece image, where it is, where the object is being placed due to that objective, all these small details there must be in your mind. At times magnification is also asked in terms of length of the compound microscope. So, length of the compound microscope is precisely the distance between the objective and the eyepiece. So, this you can see here, this we can say L. This is the length of compound microscope. Length of compound microscope. As this is the only length, there is no sign convention used, and we can write that L is mod of UE plus mod of V naught. V naught plus UE. In diagram we can see this is V naught and this is UE. Add these two, this is length of the microscope. So, how to calculate the magnification in terms of length of microscope? See, object is placed very near to the focal length of the objective. So, if it is very near, we in general write, okay, object is very near, then U naught is almost equal to F naught, as it has been placed very near to the focal length. And in that case, this A dash B dash, this is formed very near to the optical center of eyepiece, very near to this. So, in that case what will happen? This will be negligible, and that V naught can be written as L. So, we can write V naught is almost equal to L. Again, see the special case. What is the case? Object is placed very near to the focal length of the objective, and image here due to objective is formed very near to the optical center of the eyepiece. So, we can write here that V naught is equal to L almost. So, the magnification of objective will be minus V naught by U naught is L by F naught. Okay. Now, magnification of eyepiece will remain same. So, in the two cases, if VE as is formed at infinity, the first case, we can write magnification as minus L by F naught into D by FE, and when the VE is being formed at D, we can write magnification in terms of length as minus L by F naught 1 plus D by FE. So, these are the two magnifications you must memorize in terms of length of the compound microscope tube. This is very important length terms, because in the experiment when you will do in a lab with compound microscope, then generally the length is being adjusted. So, length magnification is comparatively a more important for NEET point of view. Okay, now we will discuss the telescope, the optical instrument. See, again I am suggesting you all students, when it comes to the optical instrument, don't go in any depth in this. If you are comfortable with the magnification and the rough ray diagram, this will do your job. So, don't waste your much energy in going in the entire detail and depth, because in NEET you have to solve question in 1 minute. So, take my words, rough ray diagram and the magnification. See, telescope, you know it is being used to form magnified image of distant objects. Distant objects mean, in general we can say that rays are coming from infinity. You can see here, rays are coming from where? Infinity. Also, to take a maximum amount of rays, so that the intensity of image will be fair enough to view this and view this clearly, we make that aperture a little larger. So, you can see the focal length of objective here is greater than the focal length of eyepiece, as the radius of focal length, radius of objective, or you can say aperture of objective, is greater. So, here light rays are coming from infinity, and students, if light rays are coming from infinity, if the object distance is infinity, what will be the image distance? Focus. So, you can see image here is at f naught. Now, again this is a case of successive refraction. The image formed by that objective will act like an object for the eyepiece. So, this is acting like object for eyepiece, and then final image will be formed. In this, when it comes about magnification, we use angular magnification. Angular magnification means you have to write angle that is being formed by image upon angle that is being formed by object. So, this is beta by alpha, or we can say the angle at the eyepiece divided by the angle at the objective. Now, beta is tan beta upon tan alpha. Angles are small, we can write beta as tan beta, alpha as tan alpha. So, what is tan beta? Tan beta, from the diagram we can check, this is beta. Can we say this is, if we denote this by say h. So, tan beta here is h by ue, okay, and for this tan alpha will be h by f naught, and u is negative. So, the common magnification, general magnification of telescope is, cancel these to f naught by UE. This is the magnification of telescope. Obviously, according to the adjustment, we can change the value of UE. So, for eyepiece, see, for eyepiece, what is the formula? 1 by V minus 1 by U is 1 by F. 1 by VE minus 1 by minus UE is 1 by F. This is Fe now. Also, V you can see, V here. This rays will converge either at infinity or finite distance to form what? To form image. So, can you see the object and the image both are on the same side of what? The eyepiece. So, obviously sign convention will also be the same. So, UE we are taking negative, so this is also negative. So, what is UE? 1 by Fe plus 1 by VE. Okay. Now, if question asks you that, again I am telling you, do remember the ray diagram, the magnification, and one very important thing, in telescope we are using the concept of angular magnification. So, here if final image suppose is forming at infinity, so obviously 1 by VE will be 0, UE will be Fe. If UE is Fe, can we write magnification as minus f naught by Fe. So, this magnification you have to use when the final image is formed at infinity. Similarly, if final image will be formed at D, what we will be putting here? Obviously D. So, 1 by UE is 1 by Fe plus 1 by D, and in this case from this formula magnification would be minus f naught by Fe 1 plus Fe by D. This is. So, these are the two magnifications, and this is a rough ray diagram. This is all you need to memorize the optical instrument. See, in a refracting type telescope, we calculated the magnification also, we know the ray diagram also. But if you will observe one thing, the two lenses that we are using there, both are convex. So, we are not using the achromatic doublet. Achromatic doublet that we use for removing of chromatic aberration. So, if you are using a lens, obviously there is a chromatic aberration. So, when image is formed and you are viewing the image through that telescope, that image comes with chromatic aberration. So, what is the solution? We don't prefer that chromatic aberration should be there. What is the solution? The solution is just don't use lenses. And what to use? We need an objective and we need an eyepiece. What to use? Use mirror. Again, if you are using mirrors, then there are what? Spherical aberrations. So, spherical aberrations are also there. To go away from the chromatic aberration, we should not go towards the spherical aberration. So, what to do now? The solution is don't use spherical mirror. What you should use? See, can you see here? Parabolic. So, large parabolic concave mirror is used as an objective. What is this? This is objective on which see lights are falling. First on objective lights used to fall. So, here lights are falling on this concave mirror, but let me tell you this is not spherical, this is parabolic. And when these rays are falling on this, after objective they are going towards another mirror. That another mirror could be convex, at times plane mirrors are also taken. And again after reflecting from it, it is going to the eyepiece through which eyes are being used to view the magnified, the enhanced image. This is light, portable and easy to use. So there is no mathematical or numerical formula on this, at least in your syllabus for NEET. But they ask question on reflecting type telescope on the basis of what? Basis of aberrations. For what aberrations we don't use the refracting type, your answer should be chromatic. Again, questions are being asked. In AIIMS they used to ask this in assertion region also. Spherical aberration are there, then why you are using reflecting type? Because we are not using spherical mirror, we are using parabolic mirror. Do remember, parabolic mirrors are used for the healing of what? Spherical aberrations. So these are the things you have to know from ray optics. See, if you will go on depth, there are many things all around, many things you will see. But we are concerned for NEET only. Lesser content does not mean you are a poor student. Lesser content means NEET is asking on these contents only. You are not preparing for something where the entire knowledge of ray optics is needed. So lenses, refraction, let's make a total synopsis. Ray optics, first the laws, reflection, refraction. Suppose there is a question I am asking, angle I equal to angle R. Angle I equal to angle R, and this is called law of reflection. Now suppose a question is there in objective, angle I is equal to angle R because. Now there are four options. So you have to know that fundamental, on what basis are we saying that angle I equal to angle R? Let me tell you the basis for that. That's on the basis of Fermat's principle. What we do in Fermat's principle? According to Fermat, from a source, if light is emerging, time taken by light to cover a certain distance is minimum as well as maximum, both. See, suppose this is an object and here there is a point where I am asking you how much time light will take to go, either minimum or maximum. Most of the students will say, sir, time is minimum because light speed is very high, maximum. But you have to think, when I am talking about light, I am not asking you about this light only. From object, light is emerging in all directions, like this. Like this. So if this light is reaching P in the minimum time, what do you think about this light? So the minimum time is also taken by light and maximum time is also taken by light, and this is called the Fermat's principle. On the basis of Fermat's principle, we can say angle I equal to angle R. Like suppose if there is an object, rays are going like this and going like this. From point A, ray is reflecting. Suppose this distance is D and this is D as well. But I am not aware whether this angle theta 1 or theta 2 are equal or not. So let us say this is x and this is x1 and this is x2 and this is the reflecting surface. So what is time from O to C? Can I say time taken from O to C is OA plus AC divided by speed of light? Light moves in straight line. So displacement or distance taken fraction wise, factor wise upon speed. What is OA? OA from this geometry, can you write OA as d square plus x1 square under root plus c plus d square plus x2 square under root by c? Now this is the time, but according to Fermat, what I told you, time is minimum as well as maximum. So from the concept of maxima minima, dt by dx should be 0. When you will differentiate this, you will get 2x1 upon 2d square plus x1 square minus 2x2 upon 2d square plus x2 square. Okay. Now if you will see what I have written here, I have written for theta 1 sin theta 1, for theta 2 sin theta 2 perpendicular upon hypotenuse, minus sin y because one is in anti-clock sense, one is clock sense. So this perpendicular upon hypotenuse, this can be written as sin theta 1 equal to minus sin theta 2, and that we can write, if we exclude the sense, we can in magnitude write theta 1 equal to theta 2, that you can see is angle I equal to angle R. It means angle I is equal to angle R because dt by dx is 0, dt by dx is 0 because time is either minima or maxima. So this is the Fermat's principle. So there are such fundamentals. First the laws, then reflection and refraction through plane surface. In plane surface, the plane mirror all the applications. Then the apparent height, apparent shift concept, refraction through glass slab concept, and most importantly the prism. These all are in the plane surface. Apart from this, in plane surface we also study one topic that is called TIR, total internal reflection. This is a huge topic in itself only. There is a deviation graph, there are many conditions we have done, go through each and every application of that. After TIR, it comes the spherical surface. In a spherical surface, generally there are two things. One is the refraction through a spherical surface, and I have told you in the previous lectures, if you remember, if in refraction angle of incidence is given, then you have to use Snell's law. And if angle is not given, you know there is a refraction taking place, then you will be using, students, the spherical surface formula mu2 by v, mu1 by u, mu2 minus mu1 by r. After that formula there is a lens concept, the most important one: cutting of lens, silvering of lens, combination of lens, lens maker's formula, effect of focal length on refractive index, radius of curvature. These are the small details that is needed for solving question in NEETs. You don't have to solve questions in 1 and 2 pages by using lots of mathematical applications there. And last but not the least, the optical instruments. For magnification in the ray diagram, don't forget simple microscope, compound microscope, and the telescope, both refracting and reflecting. So this is the entire synopsis of ray optics. Go through these things again and again, and be very careful while using the sign convention. Sign convention is said to be the soul of ray optics. Many questions you must have experienced, or I have seen students, they know formula, they know everything, they are doing wrong in sign convention. So make up some trick, or do one sign, take one sign convention and do all the questions on the basis of that. Don't use various sign conventions. There are various sign conventions. You have to use one and try to solve all the questions on the basis of that only. So this is it. So all the best for getting 180 out of 180 in physics and 720 out of 720 in NEET. God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.